This review is dedicated to the late great Toby Gatto, my best friend from 2002 to 2014.
I can't lie. No more of your darkness. All my pictures seem to fade to black and white. I'm growing tired. And time stands still before me.
Watchers, the 1987 novel by Dean Koontz. There are a lot of differences between book and film, which I shall bring up in a later video. Welcome to day 8 of my Scare Show 3, titled Halloween Hellhole. Let us begin. The plot. Travis Cornell, a man in his mid-30s, has had a rough life. All the people he has loved and cared about have died at a young age. Call it the Cornell curse. However, one day, during a hike, Cornell comes across a golden retriever, whom promptly gets in his way to prevent him from going further. It turns out, though, that there is a reason for this. A creature, the Outsider, that was created in a lab known as Banadyne, has escaped, as well as the golden retriever whom has also been tested on. He soon takes the dog in, and eventually the Outsider makes his way to the retriever during the last pages of the book. Don't get me wrong, I adore the love story in this, but I think the Outsider kills like 3, maybe 4 people, and there's a 10-page battle, then a resolution. The Outsider, or otherwise known as the Oxcom, was seriously lacking throughout the story. Believe it or not. This is more of a character-driven story. The titular Watchers are symbolic of guardian angel material. Not that there's really any religion to the story. There is a character, though, that feels he obtains the people he kills as souls, which was weird, but interesting. Also, that person, named Vince, causes way more gory damage, and provides many more action sequences than the Outsider ever does. This book is exactly 600 pages, making it the longest book I have ever read as of currently. I must admit, the love story is very touching. It takes up a bulk of the book. Also, the relationship between the dog and the humans is perfect. Of course, the dog has human-level thinking capabilities, and that makes him all the more likable. The 10 to 20 page climax was very tense. However, there are a few scenes that are quite suspenseful, but nothing ever lives up to what we come to know as a monster or creature story. But who am I to say that it was Koontz's intention to write a monster or creature story? He wrote it for his own golden retriever. So of course he wouldn't make the story focus on the monster, but rather the love and compassion of the dog and his family. Take out the gruesome scenes and it wouldn't change anything. Hell, it'd probably make a spooky yet lighthearted kids book like in vein of Goosebumps. The gore! There are some pretty vicious scenes involving the Outsider killing people, but the most graphic scenes are more visceral during Vince's murderous rampages. The characters! I loved them! Even if some were a bit weaker than others, my favorite character would have to be Nora, because much like me with this book, she took her time with things. I didn't want this story to end, so I took a great deal of time finishing it so I could savor every page. It's not about the monster, whether it be human or animal. It is about the human or animal characters that grow with each other. But does that make it a bad book? I say no. Even though it is a romantic thriller more than a straight-up horror, I still loved every page of it. Koontz's writing style is unique, and it intrigued me beyond what could have been just a basic monster story. Love will I give Watchers, the 1987 novel by Dean Koontz, a 4 out of 5. I am Brian Gatto. host of Horror Show Book Reviews. Make sure to like my Facebook page in the description below and to leave comments and subscribe.